Round 4 of the 2025 NPL Women's Victoria season is upon us. Still early enough in this campaign where clubs of all stripes can dare to dream of greater things on the horizon. And for these two belligerents tonight at Wembley Park, the hosts Box Hill United and the visitors the Bentleigh Greens, there is still reason for optimism as they look to continue upon some early season promising signs. My name is Joey Lynch. Thank you ever so much for joining us tonight on the NPL Victoria YouTube page, no matter where you happen to be it here in Melbourne, Victoria, Australia, or indeed anywhere around the world, as it is the hosts, Box Hill United, making an early charge forward, threatening the Bentleigh Greens penalty area early. The ball attempted to be slid through for Gabrielle Simpson, then the ball whipped in towards the back post. Early warning signs flashed by the hosts. Box Hill United, both of these sides coming into this game with 1 win, 1 draw and 1 loss on their campaigns. Bentleigh Greens picking up their first win of the campaign last week against Brunswick Juventus. It was a long-range effort, just comes in and flashes across the face of goal. For the hosts, they're starting Chloe McKenzie in goal, the 18-year-old custodian, retaining her place in front of her. Josephine Olasino, Olivia Ellis, Zoe Hudson, Gabrielle Simpson, Emma Peroni, Katie Cox, Isabella Flanagan, Victoria Zikas, Nicolina Bicallo and Elwyn Parbury. The ball now in the hands of their skipper, Olivia Ellis. Trying to just tee up some early pressure, some early weight of possession as another effort flashes across the face of goal. And out, this one for a goal kick. For the Bentleigh Greens, they've got Taylor Murphy in goal in front of her, Ellie Torre, Sydney Allen, Ashley Lefebvre, Amanda Stevenson, Caitlin Storey, Coco Parker, Delaney Kenny, Reagan Bridges, Belinda Stoichevsky and Daniela DePetta. So Sydney Allen and Coco Parker coming into the 11 for the Bentleigh Greens. Gabrielle Simpson coming into the 11 for Box Hill United against her former side, signing in the off-season from the Bentleigh Greens. Was on the score sheet in round 1 against FC Bulleen Lions, was Simpson. Off the bench in our last 2 games, but back now in the starting lineup with Sophia Palewoda out of the squad entirely for Pythagoras, who are doing the early running, I should say. That ball intended for Nicolina Bicallo on the left, couldn't get to her. Sydney Allen now, the veteran American, in possession for the visitors as they try to get something going in attack. But that one's going to be a comfortable collection for McKenzie. Natasha Stathopoulos, of course, also on the books of Box Hill, but not in the squad tonight. The backup goalkeeper is Kayla Zarkos. There's another ball whipped in. Bicallo is there waiting. She opted to go with her head. Couldn't make proper contact. Big scramble in the aftermath. Bentleigh Greens see off the danger. Stevenson on the ball, but she can't cleanly find a teammate. Another opportunity for Box Hill, and this time it's Isabella Flanagan, Philippines international, just putting it over that fence behind the goals. They're out of play, but continuing to knock on the door in these early stages is Box Hill. We haven't even gone 4 minutes here on the electronic scoreboard at Wembley Park, but they've already sent in a series of shots, and the Bentleigh Greens hardly able to get out of their own half, and it doesn't look like they're going to be able to do so on this occasion. Clever back heel. Flanagan couldn't collect it, but Box Hill retaining possession. Cox couldn't come up with it. Box Hill once more scrambling and winning the ball back. Victoria Zikas, her pass out to the right, charge down. But Coco Parker can only put it out just inside her own half of the pitch. Hurled down the flank. Players are there, chief amongst them Reagan Bridges, newly crowned co-player of the month for March in the NPL Women's Victoria, sharing the honour with Boleyn's Danella Buttress. One of a multitude of Americans on the park today. So Chesky just clears that one away. It came straight back. Ellie Torre with the attempted clearing header. DePessa, she couldn't bring it down and control it. Sydney Allen's there as well. Box Hill. Give you Callow. Sending it in again. Defensive header. Once and then twice. All that for grabs at the top of the box. And Storey coming down with it for Bentleigh Greens. And then Sydney Allen's just going to knock it over the top and into space. Delaney Kenny couldn't chase it down. The Chicago State alumni, part of a rather large collection of players with a connection to the state of Illinois on the park today. Teammate Ashley Lefebvre spent some time at the University of Illinois fighting Illini. As the Bentleigh Greens just trying to fight back and create some level of danger for Box Hill, and it's going to come to the back post, but before it can arrive to the aforementioned Ashley Lefebvre, cleared away at the last, out for a corner. So Box Hill, after spending the first 6 odd minutes of this game knocking on the door, forced to scramble back and really survive and scrap away Bentleigh's first proper attack of the night. A few speculative moves forward before then. Came to naught. As this corner gets swung in, beats the first defender in the form of Simpson. The second line of defence scrambles it away, but we can reset and have another corner. One player keeping Mackenzie company on the goal line. The rest of the Bentleigh Greens moving out towards the top of the penalty area. Ball sent into the top of the box. Players flying at it. And in the end, Chloe Mackenzie falls on it. Our referee tonight is Angelique Mangian, assisted by Lauren White and Liana Georgiev. Fourth official is Nunnally Finlay. There's Bentleigh, attempt to keep the pressure on. Stevenson couldn't retain possession. That's going to be a high turnover. Bentleigh trying to pounce. Kenny trying to just power something in at the near post, but Chloe Mackenzie, aware of the danger, falls upon it, safe as houses on that occasion. Delaney Kenny, goals in round 1 and round 2 for the American. 23-year-old making a scoring start to life in Australia. Took a lot of 129 seconds to open the scoring in this NPL Women's Victoria season. There's Box Hill trying to fashion something down the left through Simpson. Stochevsky playing pass across the field of play. Just comes out to Kenny, who whips it around the corner, intended for Coco Parker, who just is unable to keep it in. Liv Ellis coming under all sorts of pressure. Doesn't have to retain possession for her side. Bucalo Just setting it around the corner in the direction of Simpson, nodded on. Pressure coming in from Box Hill, trying to force a turnover with his high press. So Chelsea's going to go all the way back to Murphy. Kept it along the turf, but immediately coughed it up. Box Hill swarming forward with numbers again. The effort from Simpson blocked away. The hosts retain possession though. Flanagan sends it central in the direction of Simpson. Couldn't pick her out. Allen now trying to marshal a move in transition. Almost played out in front of Stevenson's run. Blocked away at the last by Box Hill. Game becoming stretched. Ashley Lefebvre's attempt to play the ball around the corner will bounce out in front of Emma Peroni. Content to just watch it go out for her side to have a throw in. Ball knocked central. Simpson just unable to work it out from that pressure, but enough done for her side to have another throw in. Gaining territory in chunks. Ball out towards the byline. Players battling for it. Multiple battles. Olasino wins her side the throw in. Over on that far side of the pitch from our broadcast position. Simpson turning one way and then the other. She attempted to escape the attention of Daniela De Pesa. And just the error from the Bentleigh Greens will see them forced to defend once more. Threatened once or twice in transition, have the Greens, but for the most part it's been Box Hill doing all the attacking. Bucalo is there. Basically just any sort of clean touch would have seen that one turned in at the far post. Couldn't make said contact, and then fears that she may have collected the post rather heavily. Fears that dissipated as she gets back to her feet and jogs off. And immediately shows that she's none the worse for wear as she steams forward in the press. Not the best of attempts to clear from Murphy. It got skied upwards. Bentleigh coming under all sorts of pressure as they try to play out. Torres pass closed down. And as Stevenson came under pressure, did enough to show his side would have another throw in. One that goes straight to Box Hill. Flanagan plays it central. Cox sending it all the way back to Victoria Zekas. Long time Box Hill representative, Victoria Zekas. Just looking to move it quickly down this right flank. Cox's throw in. Opportunity for Box Hill to switch the play. Try to find some open space on this left flank if they can move it cleanly. Very nice touch there from Flanagan, the Philippines international. Ball hoofed into the night sky by the Bentleigh Greens defence. They don't retain possession, but they do at least find a bit of territory. Albeit not as much as we might have anticipated when we saw the ball first bounce. It seems to have bent out rather quickly in that night sky here in Melbourne's east. But Allen coming up with it for the Greens, trying to find Kenny once more. That's been a repeated move by the Bentleigh Greens in these opening stages. Sydney Allen getting out in transition and trying to knock something in behind for her American teammate. American to American connection there, but yet to really threaten Box Hill. Instead, the Bentleigh Greens' best look on goal, coming in when they're able to get down the left and whip something in. They're just once more tasked with playing through this fierce press, and they do at least get the ball into Box Hill territory before Cox closes down Sydney Allen. Tepessa had the ball stolen off her. Cox tried to keep up the momentum. Apply a bit of pressure. That attempted header will go in behind the Box Hill defence, but they had plenty of numbers and time, and Zoe Hudson will just play it all the way back to Mackenzie. Mackenzie, for all her side's attacking, has been forced into the most notable save this evening and a near post from Delaney Kenny. Yes. Torres throw down the right. Doesn't lead to much, and instead Flanagan directing traffic once more, whipping it out to the right flank. Waiting for it was Gabrielle Simpson in a return to the starting lineup, but she's unable to make any sort of contact on it. And the Bentleigh Greens goal, for all of the action it has had a front row seat for thus far, remains untroubled by the hosts' attacks. Just under 17 minutes played here at Wembley Park. One other game being played tonight, the NPL Women's Victoria competition. Spring Hills hosting the Boroondara Eagles. And there is the not insignificant matter of the Matildas in action tonight as well against South Korea in the first of two friendlies against the Taeguk ladies. But here at Wembley Park, Box Hill trying to come forward with something once more, and again it was Simpson the intended target. Simpson's crossfield pass, he's just kept in. Elwyn Parbury over on that right-hand flank for Box Hill. Knocking it central, players arriving. There was 4 of them at once. In the end, it's come up with by Bridges. Box Hill winning it back immediately. Peroni. Parbury, again looking to whip it in. There was Picallo in the box, as was Simpson. Knocked down by Peroni. Simpson the intended recipient. Caitlin Storey was there. And referee Angelique Mangan has seen something she doesn't like, and the decision is going against the hosts. Good crowd in tonight at Wembley Park. Box Hill always do such a good job of supporting their women's side. Juniors in the house as well. The souvlaki smell, that meat spit wafting through the air into the grandstand as the Bentleigh Greens come forward. It's Flanagan who cleared the ball away, at least initially, and then her side coming up with it. Ellis to Zekas, to McKenzie, back to Zekas. All up for grabs in the middle of the park, but Flanagan's done well. Well, did well initially at least for her pass. He's picked out by Ashley Lefebvre. Sino though, the near post, and that's going to force a strong save from Taylor Murphy. Josephine Olasino coming up and making a bit of mischief for the visitors' defence, winning her side a corner at the very least. Picallo initially looking like she was going to take it. Instead, she'll defer to Elwyn Parbury. And one player on the near post for Box Hill. Everybody else waiting at the top of the box. The runs come, the ball arrives. Will fall. Simpson knocks it back in, but it's rather tamely hit in the end, maybe looking to find a teammate rather than the goal. And it is swallowed up by Taylor Murphy. Tapessa knocks it back. And again called into action. Picallo collides with her. Play on is the call. Simpson. Getting it back once more, around the corner, looking for Flanagan. Got it back on her right boot, and then just whipped it in. At midriff height for Gabrielle Simpson. Couldn't control it. And the Bentleigh Greens can have themselves a goal kick. The Greens have it. As mentioned, both of these sides coming into the game with one win, one draw and one loss to their names. Box Hill, though, higher on the table entering the contest thanks to a superior goal difference. +1, they entered the round in 5th position. Bentleigh Greens just a bit further back. They enter tonight with a neutral goal difference. 1-0 win over Brunswick Juventus, but a 2-1 loss to Heidelberg after opening the campaign with that 1-1 draw against South Melbourne. Of course, that draw with South Melbourne, one of the undefeated sides this season, would have given the Bentleigh Greens outfit a lot of confidence. Ellis throws it central. Olasino does well to retain possession. Then Hudson coming forward. Cox. Tended ball out to the right. Headed clear. And there we go. The foot race could have been on, but no. We have found a free kick in the middle of the park. Free kick that will go Box Hill's direction. No, a throw in. I know it would be kept in on that far side of the pitch. Coming down the right flank, and the foul is called. Well, assistant signals one way, referee signals the other. And in the end, referee Angelique Mangian will defer to her assistant, I think it's Lauren White over there, and will award the free kick to Josephine Olasino. Another one of these Chicago players, alumni of Northwestern University. So Picallo standing over it. Big numbers forward for Box Hill. Just sliced off her boot, keeping it low. Second ball up for grabs. Flanagan did well, kept her head, trying to play some nice combination plays. Box Hill, they're through on goal. But Taylor Murphy comes up big to deny Olasino her second goal of the campaign. Bentleigh did well to clear the initial danger, but some nice combination passing from the hosts, bringing them forth for another good attacking opportunity, and the danger not cleared yet. They'll have a corner. Just over 25 minutes gone here at Wembley Park. It's a low one towards the near post. Lucino's there again. She's been popping up a lot as of late. High skied ball. Murphy got a big punch on it. Then the keeper comes and the keeper claims, does Taylor Murphy. Former Alamein shot stopper, one of a number of former Alamein players in this Bentleigh Green side. Doing her bit to keep this game locked at 0-0. And arguably can be said to have supplanted Mackenzie up the other end as having had to make the most difficult save of the evening. Will she be called into action once more? Attempted 1-2 at the top of the box. Doesn't quite come off. Stevenson did well to shield the ball and find teammates. Sydney Allen now. Her pass intended for Stevenson, stolen away by Olasino. Still reloading, looking to come forward once again. Bucalo, first time header back central. Still throwing, just by the player's race. Bucalo, her attempted back heel doesn't quite come off, but she recovered quickly to put Ellie Torre under pressure. NPLW Victoria appearance 165 for Ellie Torre here tonight. But that's a horror turnover. The top of the box. Simpson's long-range effort charged down. The Greens perhaps surviving by the skin of their teeth thus far. And Kutos' side. Pythagoras looking to venture forth once more. Denied. Maybe now a bit of space for Stevenson. She had to wait for the ball to arrive, and perhaps that gave Box Hill the moment they needed to scramble back. Offside is the call. So now Kogulan Sabaratnam's side will be forced to get back in their defensive shape. The Greens have the opportunity to play the ball out undisturbed by that press, which they have been met with on so many occasions tonight already. One wonders how long Box Hill will be able to keep that sort of intensity and effort up. It is still early in the season, players perhaps finding match fitness as that ball is played in behind, but Chloe Mackenzie aware of the danger and the teenager off her line to make the claim. Signed from the FV Emerging program this season for Box Hill United. Mackenzie has also been part of Melbourne Victory's A-League Women pathway. Allen, possession in the middle of the park, kept her head, knocking it back. Ball sent in Stevenson's direction. Competing with Ellis, who recovered after Her initial attempt at control went straight up in the air and put the ball out. Stachewski. Well hit pass, but Toure was able to bring it in, only to then immediately run into the challenge of Katie Cox. And we're also going to get an early change here. And it's an interesting one. It's Belinda Stachewski, who's made her way off the park, replaced by Anna Leakopoulos. And she doesn't appear to be moving with any sort of discomfort. If anything, she looks slightly perturbed to be coming off early, just 30 minutes into this contest. Oh, it's an interesting one. Keep an eye on her as she makes the long walk across to the dugout. She ducked out on this near side of the broadcast. The dugout's all the way on the other side of the pitch from us. One be Todd here at Wembley Park, so I'll endeavour to keep an eye on both the action and try to figure out what's caused that early sub. With priority, of course, given to all the action as Ellis hurls this one in. Simpson does well to keep it in and then just poking it to the top of the box. Players arriving. DePessa got a faint touch on it. All not cleared away decisively. Lucino doing well to get it out to Bicallo. Her ball in. Blocked away by Leakopoulos. Newly introduced. And then to the top of the box. And, well, meeting it there was Isabella Flanagan, but she couldn't hit it with proper contact. That ball was pounced on by Toure. Stachewski, meanwhile, has landed back in the Bentleigh Greens dugout. So we'll see if she just puts the bib on or if she's getting any kind of treatment. Doesn't look like she's getting any kind of treatment, so can only guess as to what Coach Kutas saw there to reshuffle in his back four. Leakopoulos, of course, no slouch to bring off the bench. Signing in the off-season from Boroondara. Spent time in the Melbourne Victory pathway. Was a substitute in the NPL Women's Victoria Team of the Season for 2024. Well, Bridges was charging forward with the ball for Bentleigh, left it behind. The attack subsequently peters out. Box Hill looked to pounce. Nicolina Bicallo on the left flank. Given the chance to carry it inside. Dances around one. Ball to the top of the box. The shot is just wide of the goal. So again, the Bentleigh Greens net leading something of a charmed life. But one wonders for how much longer, if they can't do something to wrest a level of momentum in this contest. As Box Hill win the ball back and come forward once more. Ball whipped in from that right flank, but there's no players in blue to meet it. Only the Bentleigh Greens woman in yellow, Taylor Murphy. Her clearance out though. Doesn't really find anybody in green. Box Hill continuing to force a lot of turnovers. We get the possession stats at around half time, but can't imagine that the Greens will have had much in the way of it. Feels like they've had less than a third, to be honest. But here, perhaps with some of their rare ball, well, chance to build up and create something. And that something ends up being a chip over the top, which is gratefully seized upon by Box Hill, but Sydney Allen trying to create something out of nothing. Bustle past one, bustle past two, but couldn't bustle her way past Zoe Hudson, who gets across to just put a body in the road and knock the ball out for a throw-in on that right flank. Corner kick, As the Greens, well, so often you see in games, set pieces are an avenue back into contests. Can the visitors create something? Players fly. It was Cox who got the initial header on it. And then in the subsequent tussle, a free kick is found for the hosts. And taken quickly by Mackenzie. Seekers back across to Hudson. Some space in front of her to amble into. Instead, she returns the pass to her centre-back partner. Then she's looking in behind for Bucalo. She's stolen a march. Bucalo across the face of goal, but nobody there wearing blue. And the Greens now through Sydney Allen. Just got the ball caught up underneath her feet. Now the ball in behind Mackenzie. Almost felt like she was in two minds there. Because it was Stevenson who knocked it in behind after collecting the ball poked away from Sydney Allen. But the keeper eventually claimed it, ball bouncing through to her. Piccolo now. Olasino out to the right flank. Another ball in, but again, it will sail too close to Taylor Murphy. The likes of Isabella Flanagan and Gabrielle Simpson continuing to lurk in the penalty area, just waiting for one of those deliveries to make its way over to them. They're going to have to get back to defend now, as the Greens trying to open something up on the left flank, battling for it. Down there was Coco Parker and Zoe Hudson. And it's Hudson, the defender, that wins the ball for her side. And then she gains a few metres as Parker puts her throw in, back out into touch once more. Bit of triangle work from Box Hill as they work the ball out. Hudson now carry it forward before finding a teammate. Olasino, recipient, as they're coming forward once more. Flanagan did well to retain possession and get it to Bucalo. High ball towards the back post, nobody there. Coco Parker first on the scene for the Greens and puts it out for a throw-in. Parbury has the ball in her hands, sends it towards the penalty area. Flanagan at the top of the box, winding up, has her first ever close down. Spins away from DePeta's challenge. And it will be an offside that breaks up that attack. Reagan Bridges. Ball at her feet. Pretty much the entire pitch in front of her. She boots it long. Look at her territory. Down that left flank. Gains it. And the Greens will retain possession as that clearance finds touch. Box Hill coming up with it. Right up until Sydney Allen pounces. Ellis. Not so clear, only as far as Ashley Lefebvre. So less than 5 minutes of regulation remaining in this opening stanza. Plus however much added time, fourth official Nat Finlay indicates will be necessitated. Box Hill have certainly looked the more threatening of the two sides. Not to discount the moments that the Greens have tried to get something going in transition, but a lot of territory. A lot of balls whipped into the box, quite a few shots as well, but unable to find that go-ahead goal thus far. Perhaps this could be the moment as Flanagan comes up with it. As has so often been the case throughout this opening 42-odd minutes. Tank peters out. Almost has the feeling of a game that will either end with 3 or 4-0 win to Box Hill in the second half, or the Bentleigh Greens come out, grab a goal in transition, and that serves to break the momentum and take the wind out of the hosts. Peroni got the ball forward on that right flank for Josephine Olasino, who goes down, winning her side a free kick. Not quite a corner, not quite as much room to get the ball up and then down if you are looking to find the head of a teammate, albeit we have seen Box Hill deliver a few low-driven balls into the box already tonight. Plenty of numbers forward for this one. Hudson and Zekas have both come up from their positions at centre-back, so certainly recognition of this opportunity by the hosts. Ball sent in towards the back post. Players were arriving. I think it was Hudson that was there with the last touch for the hosts, albeit a rather comfortable collection for Taylor Murphy. Greens, in the form of Sydney Allen, attempting to get in behind once more, but the pass intended for the run of the highly advanced Deli Toure, getting up from her position on the right, doesn't come off. Lucino sends her opponent sprawling with the fancy footwork. And then he's just able to find Simpson on the right. Box Hill nibbling around the edges once again. Can't find a way through, but they retain possession for now. Driving run central, and then the effort. Whew, it was probably closer to just sneaking inside that far post than Taylor Murphy probably thought when it came off the boot. Didn't really make too much of an effort to save it. Fortunately for the goalkeeper, her judgment that it wasn't on target proved true. And the scores remain locked at 0-0 as we inch towards the halftime break. As well, Josephine Olasina, I'm not sure how much Australian rules footy she's watched since he's coming out, but she certainly got up in a specky position on that one, coming right over the top, giving away the free kick. And is there a chance maybe for the Bentleigh Greens to land a sucker punch just before the halftime break? They'll have a throw in here. Lefebvre, ball in her hands. Delaney Kenny knocked it back. And high ball forward in the direction of Stevenson. Didn't work its way to her, and that will signal the end of an opening 45 minutes in which Box Hill will feel they were the better side, deservedly so. The majority of possession, the majority of territory, and the majority of attempts on goal. But the most important stat, the only one that matters in the end, goals, we haven't had one yet. 0-0 here at Wembley Park between Box Hill United and the Bentleigh Greens heading into half-time. We'll be back for the second stanza in around 15 minutes. You'll have the countdown clock for company. Until then. Players getting set for kickoff here. Welcome back, one and all, to Wembley Park as the Bentleigh Greens get this round 4 NPL Women's Victoria contest back underway. The second 45 coming your way from Melbourne's East, live on the NPL Victoria YouTube page. My name is Joey Lynch. Thank you ever so much for your company for this second stanza. If you are just joining us, it was a first half well and truly dominated by Box Hill United. We talked about the stats that would come through at half-time, and they certainly do paint something of a picture. 17 shots for Pythagoras across the opening 45 minutes compared to just 2 from the Bentleigh Greens. 4 efforts on target, however, for Box Hill also tells something of a story. Just the 1 shot on target for the Bentleigh Greens. So plenty of nibbling around the edges, plenty of threatening looks for Box Hill, but when it came time to actually putting the ball on target, forcing Bentleigh Greens goalkeeper Taylor Murphy to work, the hosts really struggling to convert their dominance of possession, dominance of territory into clear-cut chances. Can this be the moment in which they do so? No, as it turns out, as that ball will roll long and out for another Bentleigh Greens goal kick. Of course, one of the other major stories of the opening stanza was how Box Hill, their press, forced several turnovers whenever the Bentleigh Greens were looking to play out from the back, and looks like, discretion being the better part of valour, they're just going to go long at this time of asking. Players competing for the second ball. DePetta won it for the Greens, and now they're through. In behind, Stevenson brought down, but fairly by Chloe McKenzie. She had to be clean. How often do we see in those circumstances the attacker just knock the ball around the keeper and get brought down and win themselves a penalty? Not on that occasion, however. Scores remain 0-0, and perhaps a warning shot sent across the bow of Box Hill. A reminder from the Bentleigh Greens that for all your dominance, for all of your looks on goal, this is still a football match, and we are still in this, and we will hit you in transition. No changes that we could make out from either side at the half-time break. Nat Finlay not showing any on the fourth officials board. We only had the 1 change in the first half. It was a curious one at about that half an hour mark. Linda Stoichevsky coming off, Anna Leokopoulos coming on. There's the Greens trying to fashion some form of danger once more, but the pass that was intended for Sydney Allen doesn't come off. Coco Parker was in an offside position initially, had to reset and retime her run, and afforded that extra bit of time and space. Elwyn Parbury just puts it out for a throw-in. Numbers coming forward now for the visitors. This ball is hurled into the penalty area. Headed immediately clear though. DePetta battling for it. Can't win possession, but at least puts it out for a throw-in. That will enable her side to set up a new cordon right by our broadcast position here on Box Hill's attacking right flank. Perfect night for football here at Wembley Park. Not too hot, not too cold. No wind and no precipitation. Means that the elements should not play into this contest. That's a good ball out for Elwyn Parbury, who has a bit of time and space to look up and knock something in behind. Well, the foot race is on, and there's a bit of miscommunication there as well. Reagan Bridges was expecting Taylor Murphy to come for it. The keeper didn't. And Box Hill looking to pounce. Oh, then just coming forward. Montesino. Again, Taylor Murphy perhaps a step tardy off her line. Did enough to contest it, and Box Hill's American midfielder just puts the ball out for a goal kick. And that will be a Bentleigh Greens throw-in on this near side. Isabella Flanagan was across to provide the pressure. Stevenson brings it down on her thigh. Both sides want the ball. The Greens will have it. So moving forward in bite-sized chunks. Bridges' ball forward was intended for Stevenson. She can't come up with it. Elwyn Parbury. Once more, coming forward. Peroni. She gets closed down by the aforementioned Reagan Bridges. Parbury once more, playing it central. Flanagan. Isabella Flanagan trying the sharp left-footed pass across her body. She couldn't find the teammate, but Box Hill come up with the spoils. Well, knocked into the top of the 6-yard box. Box Hill can't find a way past the assembled Bentleigh Greens defence at the first or second time of asking. Now potentially could transition beyond. No. Not at that moment. Elwyn Parbury sticking a strong boot in. And then it's adjudged to have last come off. Ashley Lefebvre. Parbury has been busy in these last few exchanges. Zekas, the switch of players on from right to left. Ellis. High ball in, the header. Whips across the face of goal from Josephine Olasino. And after that early scare for Box Hill, perhaps normal service has now resumed and they are beginning to mount a series of attacks and forays forward. Murphy deferring the goal kick, and it is certainly sent well out, making its way all the way into Box Hill territory. Sydney Allen on it, poking it forward. No teammate there to meet it. Closest in the vicinity was Amanda Stevenson. Stevenson back at Kingston Heath. Signing from Ringwood City. It was Bayside United when she departed Kingston Heath, now rejoining the Bentleigh Greens after the merger between the two sides last season. Bridges with a high ball forward. Delaney Kenny is able to keep it in, closed down by Liv Ellis. Hasn't been afforded a lot of opportunities to impact this game thus far, Kenny. But the American does have the pace and touch around the box to make Box Hill pay if she's given a half a yard at any point. So something that they will need to be wary of. That ball is knocked out behind into the car park and wooded area behind those goals. Over on the eastern side of the ground. Ellis knocking the ball central. Simpson brought it down but came under pressure from DePessa. The Greens coming up with it. Parker knocked it back. Ball intended for Ashley Lefebvre's run. Was picked out before it could reach her by Elwyn Parbury. Coco Parker getting back to defend. Triangle work from the Greens as they played out. And there's a bit of space perhaps for them to operate in. As ball is knocked in behind. Stevenson, the intended recipient, but ran out of runway. It's claimed by Chloe McKenzie once more. And the teenage keeper will have seen that the Greens are looking to work those balls in behind, so she now well and truly will be on the lookout for any opportunities to get out off her line quickly and snuff out the danger. Looks like there's a couple of players on the Bentleigh Greens bench that have shed their tracksuits and are awaiting their summons to come on. We'll see just how long Coach Ange Koutis waits before infusing them into the contest. As mentioned, already one change made. Leakopoulos coming on. Leakopoulos on the ball now, and she's ordered back a few metres. She's playing centre-back right now, Leakopoulos, but she can play as a defensive midfielder as well, so a bit of versatility that can be deployed by the Bentleigh Greens. We'll see if that is called upon today, or if she is in for the long haul at centre-back after being thrown on about half an hour into this contest. Greens trying to find a way through with that throw in on the left flank. Doesn't come off. And here comes Bridges. Scored from the penalty spot against Brunswick Juventus. Did the American defender. Parbury clearing it away. Now, Simpson has the ball, but she's on a bit of an island. Teammates were behind her as she advanced forward. Greens had the numbers. That ball will just scoot through to Coco Parker after taking a touch off Box Hill. Sydney Allen knocking it in behind. Stevenson's there, but she was making her run from an offside position. The Bentleigh Greens. Maybe just a few more questions being asked of Box Hill in these last few exchanges. Certainly nowhere near close to panic stations for the hosts as they come forward once more. And a goal, an opening goal would be a perfect way to answer back as the ball is splayed across the top of the 6-yard box. Players coming at it from all sides. A big collision, scrambled away by Bentleigh. Ball sent straight back by Box Hill. Stolen back by the Greens. Sydney Allen trying to just dictate tempo. And there's a bit of space on this left flank. Walked forward by Lefebvre. Sent straight back, but she can have another go. Sydney Allen. Marshalled well by Flanagan. Now here comes Flanagan, the Philippine international, trying to slide it through and behind. It's a fantastic ball, but the shot from Olasino charged down by Taylor Murphy. Perhaps maybe summing up something of the evening for Box Hill. They finally fashion a clean look on goal, a superb ball in behind, but the Bentleigh Greens goalkeeper subsequently proving herself up to the task. As we also see the Bentleigh Greens and Box Hill both with players at the halfway line. It looks as though Gabrielle Simpson will make way for Box Hill, replaced by Georgia Karaparidis. So no goal for Gabrielle Simpson against her former side as she makes way. Karaparidis coming on for her third appearance of the season, all of them coming off the bench for the 16-year-old. Senior football at 16 years old, nothing to sneeze at. for the youngster. Can she prove something of a difference maker? There's referee Angelique Mangan just laying down the law there in the top of the box. As now we await this delivery of Elwyn Parbury. The runs arrive. The corner, however, didn't, as it goes straight out. And the Greens can have themselves a goal kick. Bouncing ball up for grabs. Stevenson knocked it down for Allen. And Delaney Kenny is just forced to run that one out as it bounces comfortably into the hands of Chloe McKenzie. Box Hill's remaining substitutes heading over to the corner to warm up. Meanwhile, the Bentleigh Greens, their two players waiting to come on, still there, standing on the halfway line. I wonder if there's a particular moment, particular series of circumstances that the Greens are waiting for before introducing some fresh legs. As that attack of theirs peters out. Hudson. Elwyn Parbury now on the right flank. Was forced to turn back central by Kenny. But now, massive amounts of space for Ellis to operate in on the left flank as she charges forward. And the player of Ellis's stature and experience probably should have done better with that pass. And now, after waiting an age, those Bentleigh Greens players can make their entrance, and it's Emily Keppins who will come on in place of Stevenson. Keppins, who started last week, can finally make her introduction, as can Karina Tolios, who will enter the fray for Coco Parker. So two players that moved from the 11 to the bench for this week's contest in Keppins and Tolios. Now thrown on with just over half an hour of regulation. Sorry, just under 20 odd minutes of regulation remaining. Karaparidis battling for it on that left flank, the newly introduced Box Hill player. Now she charges forward, ball at feet. She's round one. Bustled off it by DePessa. And then enthusiastic attempts to reclaim the ball for Box Hill there by I think it was Selena. It was far out there. Whoever it was, they've given away a free kick. Albeit one that doesn't lead to much in the way of danger. Karaparidis does well. Bit of fancy footwork shown by the teenager since she was thrown on. Hudson spears it out to the right, brought down by Peroni. Hudson again. Parbury. She's got Flanagan central. Instead it goes long in, and again players arriving but unable to meet it. Marcelino and Bucalo both there. Neither could get a head on it. And Caitlin Stoure just able to dig it out and gain at least a few precious metres. This game remains at 0-0. Approaching the 65-minute mark here on the electronic scoreboard at Wembley Park. Kenny was charged down by Hudson before she could play the ball. Think Sydney Allen was the intended recipient. Three Bentleigh Greens players there. And it's Bridges that comes up with it for them. High ball forward, foot race is on. Keppins and Ellis. Trajectory of the pass took them away from goal and towards that touchline. That's Ellis that came up with it. And Kenny given the thankless task of trying to chase that one down as Box Hill switch the play from left to right. Parbury knocking it central, not sure to who. Second bounce. Well, the second ball has in fact come off Angelique Mangian, who, as per the regs, will deliver the ball back to the side that was in possession. Bentleigh Greens, not sure how much longer they would have retained possession the way that ball was travelling, but fortune smiles upon them. Lefebvre to Allen. Tolios. Closed down quickly. Elwyn Parbury's challenge is going to send the ball across the goal line for a corner. Tolios immediately up to take. Leakopoulos coming forward, as is Bridges, so the tall timber making its way into Box Hill's penalty area. The set piece, it's a good one, it's a high one, and it will beat everybody. And now, potentially, a moment of transition that with the Bentleigh Greens centre-backs up to compete for this corner. And Ashley Lefebvre, no mucking about. With Box Hill steaming forward, she just puts the ball anywhere but there. And it's a throw-in. Now Leakopoulos back to defend. Putting her bigger body into the back of Karaparidis and winning a throw-in for her side in the process. Now hoofed long. The defender. Sydney Allen couldn't control the ball with her head. Instead it bounces to DePetta, who knocks it forward. Kenny, having dropped a bit deeper than we're used to seeing from her tonight. Shows her side retain possession. Greens, well, I was about to say they need to be clean with it and apply some pressure. Maybe at this time. Spoke too soon. There's been one thing they've really struggled to do tonight, the Bentleigh Greens. They've had their moments in transition, but when it's been time to just put their boot on it and retain possession for anything resembling an extended period, haven't been able to do so, in large part because, as we just saw there, Box Hill's pressure has been intense. It hasn't given them a moment's peace. And here's just the latest turnover. Flanagan steaming forward, Flanagan onto that right boot. Will she go for goal? Was it a cross? Was it a shot? We will never know. As Karina Tolios coming across, getting a foot in and sending it out for a corner. Bucalo getting across to take, one arm up, signalling to her teammates what she wants to do. They've all assembled almost in single file at the top of the box. The short option is presented and ignored. Top of the 6-yard box, ball up for grabs. And Murphy getting out, getting over the ball. Foot race is on. Sydney Allen is through for the Bentleigh Greens. She's round the keeper. She's brought down. No, she's not round the keeper once again. Chloe McKenzie. Her timing and direction of her claim, perfect. As she just takes the ball off the boot of an on-rushing Bentleigh Greens attacker. At that time, it was Sydney Allen, who went flying. Initially, not knowing where the ball was, I thought she might have had a shout for a penalty, but instead, She just has to jog back as Mackenzie comes up trumps once more. Now, will the Box Hill keeper to be called into action at this time of asking? Lefebvre forced backwards by Flanagan. All up for grabs in the middle of the park. Karaparidis was charging forward, only to run into the brick wall that was Bridges. Now, ball knocked forward. Keppins was in the vicinity, but her run was directed laterally as the ball went over her head. Both sides exchanging long balls in these last few exchanges, both about as fruitful as the others. Good ball along the turf, finds Tolios. The substitute. DePetta. Quick ball to Allen. Keppins. Zekas was there keeping her company. Pokes it away. And Ellis knocks it forward once and then twice. Bridges sends it back first time. Murphy puts her laces through it. Caitlin Storey couldn't bring it down. And Ellie Torre just forced to slide in and put the ball out for a throw-in. So, game perhaps beginning to stretch. As here comes Box Hill once more. Big pack forms at the top of the box. Karaparidis battling for it. Couldn't recover it. She did have some support, but under fierce pressure, the youngster, not a lot she could do. Scan of the head from Bicallo. Knows she can turn and face the right way. Parbury, her cross charge down. As Lefebvre charges it down, and then the bounce favours her. As we see two changes coming from Box Hill. Anne-Marie Macunya, one of the players preparing to enter the fray, as is Theodora Wilson. Liv Ellis, one of those making way. As is Emma Peroni. So Wilson and Macunya, two new signings. Theodora Wilson crossing over from Box Hill. Macunya from the Northern Tigers in New South Wales, as that's going to crash off the post. Good Lord. Box Hill, they've done pretty much everything tonight except score. Off the boot, certainly that looked to have the measure of Taylor Murphy, but it didn't have the measure of that upright. And Matt Green's goal somehow survives unblemished. For how much longer, though? As here comes Box Hill once more. Flanagan. That shot charged down. DePetta just gets it clear as quick as she can. Ball goes to the feet of Sydney Allen. She wants Lefebvre on the left. Gets to her, but it's not in front of her, so she's forced to go backwards with it. And that affords Box Hill the time to get numbers behind the ball and assume their defensive shape. The speculative ball looped forward. Comes up Nort. Flanagan. Knocks it back. Cox. She goes back. Box Hill. Resetting, retaining possession, trying to drag the Bentleigh Greens out of their defensive shape. Stretch the play out. First time ball around the corner, intended for Parbury from Bucalo. Doesn't come off. And Ash Lefebvre, NPLW veteran, knew where the touchline was, knew where her opponent was, and watches it roll out for a throw-in. Lainey Kenny rewarded for her endeavour with the free kick. And all of a sudden, territory shifts. And the Bentleigh Greens don't have to deal with that press. High ball into the penalty area. Players arriving. I think that might have actually last come off a Box Hill player. Regardless of who it was, Mackenzie, aware of the danger, getting down low to her right to make the claim. Bit of miscommunication there, perhaps, between Tepessa and Bridges. They weren't punished for it, as they'll scramble it clear, will the Greens. Caitlin Storey heard footsteps, shielded the ball. Ball knocked back central, where it's immediately claimed by Box Hill. Now Cox. Bit of time in the middle of the pitch. Knocks it out to Parbury, who looks for Bucalo. Lefebvre sprinting forward, reclaiming possession for the visitor. Sydney Allen's touch wasn't the best. Bailed out by a teammate, Sydney Allen, and that's a lot better of a touch as she moves the ball across, finds a teammate. Bentleigh Greens are in behind, and they're in the lead. No, they're not. They are not. Emily Keppins thought that the Greens had stolen a lead in this one. It was a good finish into that corner, only for the flag to be raised on that far side by assistant Lauren White. And the deadlock remains in place at Wembley Park. Well, I said previously the Box Hill had done pretty much everything but score. Well, they hadn't had a goal disallowed for offside yet, but the Bentleigh Greens have stepped up to fulfil that part of the quota. Shots off the woodwork, goals disallowed, keepers making strong saves, keepers diving at the feet of on-rushing attackers on the breakaway. Certainly a multitude of moments that in another game would have led to something troubling the scorers. In this game, coming up to naught. Just over 10 minutes of regulation remaining, plus stoppage time. Will we be provided with that elusive opening goal? There's Box Hill trying to work their way in behind. Low ball across the face of goal, cleared away, as it so often has been tonight. And then booted clear. Now a bit of a foot race is on. Keppins, after just having a goal disallowed, was just looking to drag the ball across her face and find a teammate in the form. Delaney Kenny. Box Hill had the angle covered though. Throw into the top of the box. Ricochets off the boot of Kenny. She recovers. Shows her side retained possession. Tolios! Did she mean that? Was that a cross that got away from her? We don't know, and in the end, we don't have to know, as it sails over the crossbar and out for a goal kick. Ball snaked through for Box Hill once more, coming forward with intent. Charging to the top of the box. But the Greens at the last deny them. Lefebvre with the clearance. Now, Kenny looking to transition quickly. Runs into Zekas, who puts the ball out. Caitlin Storey getting across quickly. Wants to get us restarted before Box Hill gets numbers back. Throw in for Kenny. Ricochets off the American attacker. Box Hill has a throw in. Flanagan loses the ball immediately. Ball into the top of the box. Initial clearance goes skyward. And off the head of Tolios and skyward once more. Box Hill looking to come away with it. Leah Coppolis knocks it forward and it takes the deflection, encouraging her teammates to show some desperation as it goes forward, and signs of it there from Emily Keppins as she gets across, applies the pressure and wins her side a corner. Karina Tolios to take. Timber gets forward once again. Good delivery towards the back peg, and you had Keppins lurking there, but the ball just finding her head and flying past her as she was maybe looking to tee up a volleyed effort. Keppins, the only player to put the ball in the back of the net tonight. Unfortunately for those of a Bentleigh Green's persuasion, she did so from an offside position. Foot race on, Bucalo and Lefebvre. The latter wins it. Well, and Bridges just tried to sucker in a couple of players and steam into the space they left behind. Didn't come off. Ball spills out, and Flanagan, as she attempted to turn it goalward, has it poked off her boot. And it will be a corner kick for Box Hill. Under 10 minutes of regulation remaining in this one. You can really feel the tension just rising here at Wembley Park as both of these sides continue to search for a goal, which at this point of the game, you would have to say would be good value for a winner. Just before Bucalo can take, referee Angelique Mangan has seen something she doesn't like. Just the palms up, calling for Kama Kama. So Bucalo again prepares to deliver. Ball knocked in. Bentleigh Green's got a head on it, sent back in. Not cleared convincingly at the second time of asking. Bucalo's there. Good sliding challenge, taking it off the boot of Macunya, who in her attempts to keep the ball in that attacking third for Box Hill is going to give away a free kick. Macunya, the 23-year-old, coming down from New South Wales for this season, battled a foot injury in 2024. You got that ball played in behind for Olasino. Green's last line of defence again proving up to the task. Ellie Toure just gaining a few metres as she puts the ball into touch. There's another change coming for the Bentleigh Greens. Isabella Fernandez preparing to come on in place of Delaney Kenny. So the American makes way for the 21-year-old for the Bentleigh Greens, now in his second campaign with the club after signing from Southern United. Ball ricocheted off Angelique Mangan there, and again the Greens will have the ball delivered to them. So Lefebvre, nice touch to take it inside, but then her pass not the best. Set Tolios a big task. The Greens just, well, I was about to say just able to move the play from left to right, but Story unable to keep that one in. DePetta knocking the ball forward. Sorry, it wasn't Story unable to keep the ball in. It was the newly introduced Fernandez. DePetta's pass intended for her didn't come off. Bentleigh Greens instead forced to defend another Box Hill throw in. Flanagan, lovely little dinked ball over the top. Just too much on it for Macunya. Cunha's throwing for Flanagan. She gets it back. Lucino. One way, then the other. Then the long-range effort is just tipped wide. Taylor Murphy. Her goal has been peppered tonight, but every time Box Hill has put something towards her net, she has proven up to the task. Potentially about to be tested again, but she's having herself a night. No! Finally the breakthrough comes for Box Hill. The ball whipped in, met at the top of the 6-yard box. And after 85 odd minutes of resistance, moments after Murphy made a sublime save to keep her side in it, the dam wall breaks and Box Hill have the opening goal of this game. It was a short corner routine. Look to the top of the 6-yard box, and it was met there with a well-directed header from Katie Cox. Her first in Australia after arriving in the off-season from Icelandic side UMF Sindri. Bowling Green alumni. And you can't say, for all the praise we were giving Taylor Murphy, you can't say it also hasn't been coming for Box Hill. They have absolutely peppered the Bentleigh Greens penalty area throughout this contest. Finally afforded an opportunity to work a set-piece routine from the training track. And Katie Cox comes up big for her side. Sorry, it's not her first goal, of course. She got a brace against Burundara last week. So goals in 2 straight weeks for Cox. But now, the Bentleigh Greens, will they be stung back to life, having fallen from behind? Can they figure out a way to get a breakthrough, which at this point wouldn't get them the 3 points, but salvage 1? Very difficult task awaiting them, because for all of her side's attacking intent, Chloe McKenzie has shown that she herself is having a good game tonight. A few important saves, a few dives at opposition players' feet. Parbury, her pass. Doesn't find a teammate. The Bentleigh Greens looking to get in behind. Keppins on the move, but so is Zekas. 90 seconds of regulation remaining per the electronic scoreboard here at Wembley Park. Ball slides under the feet of Keppins, sends back almost to an approximate spot where the initial throw-in was taken. Bridges directing traffic, lofts it in centrally, but off that right boot, it's going to bend away from the run of any of her teammates and instead into the grasp of Chloe McKenzie, who falls on it. Clever from Bucalo to let the ball run. She's going to take it to the corner flag rather than look for a teammate. And shield the ball well enough to earn her side a free kick. Sorry, a throw-in, not a free kick. Possession retains the important bit in that exchange. Well, for all of a moment, as the Bentleigh Greens, not sure if they were springing the offside trap or Box Hill lost track of their positioning, have given away an offside. Assistant Liana Georgiev on the opposite side of the park, spotting something she didn't like. It's the press there from Box Hill. We have played the full 90 per the electronic scoreboard here at Wembley Park, and still Box Hill haranguing and running to put this Bentleigh Greens back four under pressure as they look to play out. High ball to the top of the Box Hill penalty area, headed away by Zikas. Bentleigh Greens looking to reload. Lefebvre, bit of time and space. Wanted to play Tolios into space on the left-hand side. Didn't quite come off. Then the young substitute. Charging down the attempted clearance. Bentleigh Greens getting bodies around. The incoming throw-in, need to force a quick turnover. Tolios head on it. But Box Hill will take that as they retain possession and can just take a few more precious seconds off the clock. Tolios' header on that occasion was kept in. Ball up for grabs. DePessa knocks it forward. Keppens was in the vicinity, as was Hudson. Lefebvre looking to keep the ball along the turf in the Keppens direction. Knocked out by Box Hill. Desperate times for the Greens. But their passing lets them down. Box Hill coming up with it. Can they clear? Cox, the goal scorer, just knocks it into space. Leokopoulos claims for the Bentleigh Greens, looking to play the ball in behind. Fernandez got there first, but her pass goes straight to her opposite number, and Olasino, who clears. Real urgency on show now from the Greens. Cries of get it forward quickly. Knocked forward in the Sydney Allen direction. Sent clear. Appeals for a handball from the Box Hill dugout. They're ignored. But Cox again with the clearance. Flanagan. Will she take this ball towards the corner flag? She will. There's a couple of Bentleigh Greens for company. Lefebvre comes up with it. Does well to turn, and then that pass. Trying to play it into the stride of Tolios. That's slight too much bit of mustard on it. And so still, 3 minutes of added time have transpired here at Wembley Park, and it is Katie Cox, the Columbus, Ohio native. Her goal proves the difference between the two sides as she's bundled over by Caitlin Story, but she got the all-important touch to knock it forward. Karaparidis now. She'll look for the corner flag. Toure and Daniela DePessa keeping her company. Box Hill ball, surely not too much time left. If the Greens are going to do something, they're going to have to do it now. And they won't have the time to do anything. Angelique Mangan signals full time. And Box Hill, they huffed and they puffed, and eventually they blew the Bentleigh Greens house down. Katie Cox popping up with a header from the top of the 6-yard box to win the game for her side late on, moments after Taylor Murphy had produced a fine save to keep her side in it. Box Hill, 3 points, which they will rightly probably feel that they deserve. They had more shots, more possession, more territory, and most importantly, more goals in the ends. The Bentleigh Greens suffer their second defeat on the campaign. They will look to bounce back next week against Spring Hills on Friday night. Box Hill United will look to keep this momentum going when they travel to face FV Emerging on Saturday afternoon. Both of those games you can catch live and free on the NPL Victoria YouTube channel. Make sure you subscribe, be a friend, tell a friend, get them subscribed as well. But for now, my name has been Joey Lynch. Thank you ever so much for your company this evening. Thanks and success.